issue with you know this program is just like okay, so I could stop it. So thank you very much for joining our class today. It's you know that this week is the first time for me to also join with you, continuing the previous chapters with Ibu Ayu and also Pak Ibris also in these sessions. It's kind of introduction sessions from me, and then we will start our real sessions, real discussions about the topics starting from the next week on November. So hopefully that you can hear my voice here. I would like to share my slide first. There are about 21 of us, but now it's only how. Then let me check it. How many students now joining our class? Okay, it's 16. So now 15. Okay, so it's kind of the majority of us and now joining this class, so I can start the sessions. So first of all, in this sessions I would like to introduce you the in a kind of the role plays, the regulations and the scenario of our class during next month, during the November's, and we will deal with 4 different chapters. So I will share my slide with you, and okay. So before this, I would like to confirm the first group. I mean, I need to share the groups for you. I have divided the class into different groups, and I need to share it with you and then to confirm whether each group is available or not. Okay, so now it's kind of okay. So I need to share this one. So I will also call your name and say yes if you are available here, or other students also could confirm whether this student is also available with our class. So Rosina Prinza, Rosie, can you hear me? Hello? Shifa? Shifa, can you hear?
Sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So Rosie, okay, Rosie and Shifa will be the first in the first group, and also are you
Yes,
smart?
sir.
Okay, so
Yes.
three of you will be the first groups, and you will deal with immune systems for your presentations, and then I will move to the second group. Eka Yuliastuti, are you here? Eka?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, thank you. And then Funny, how to spell your name? Fenoy. Funny, are you there? Not yet. Probably not yet. What about Hilma?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. So what about Funny? Funny also available here?
Not yet, sir.
That's it. Okay. So I will mark the Funny first, and then Hilma is present right now, right? And then three of you will be the second group. So Eka, Funny, and Hilma will be in the same the second groups. And then third groups will be Nikita. Nikita, are you there?
Yes, present, sir.
Okay, and
I'm here,
then
sir.
okay, and then Tasha. Tasha, please be
Yes,
ready.
sir.
Okay, and then Seren. I bet that you are here, Seren, because I shared the link with you first. So the third group will be Nikita, Tasha, and Seren. And next, the fourth groups, Abhian. I'm not sure that Abhian will be here now because recently I shared the link with Abhian, but he did not respond. So the third group, Abhian. So Abhian is still absent now. Melania,
I'm here, sir.
again, and Tiara. Hi Tiara,
Yes,
are you
sir.
here? Okay, thank you. Glad to hear your
Yes,
voice.
sir.
And then Anissa V3. Oh, it's unique name V3. It's not V3, but the V3. Anissa, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take it. And Zimdia. Zimdia Larasari. Zimdia, are you there? Can you hear my voice right now? So, or are you still sleeping? Take a nap. Okay, well, Mark Zimdia with a purple one and Nadira. Hi, Nadira. Nadira.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you are present right now.
Hmm? Apa, sir?
Okay, I just call your name, so please
Ah,
just okay confirm that you are available with our class. So you Anissa and Zimda will be the fifth groups. You'll be in the same group
ah,
with Anissa and Zimdia in dealing with nervous systems. And then the sixth group will be Arin Sparima Smatupong. Hi Arin. Arin, are you there? Not yet. Kiki, what about Kiki? Hi Kiki. No, so still absence. And Kiki, are you there? No Kiki there? Hi Kiki. No, there's no Kiki here. Okay, I will mark Arin and Kiki. And then please confirm then if they are available. And then the seventh group will be Nasha, Habibapu Putri. Hi Nasha. Nasha, Habibapu Putri. Nasha, can you hear me? Or you are still somewhere? Fadila, Fadila Cantika.
yes, sir.
Okay, you
I'm
are.
here, sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
you and Nasha will be the same the seven groups dealing with the production system in part one. And then, okay, Fadila, you are here. And then Mohammed Gifari at the time I heard your voice.
Yes,
Yesterday.
sir. I'm here.
Yeah, I miss you so much. Long time no
Oh, miss
see.
you too, sir.
And yeah, so, our laboratory or our campus also very quiet now. So there are barely students there. And then the largest one, Sophia Norieni Safiri Tanjang, such a long name. Sophia, are you there? Not yet. Okay, if not yet, so I will mark it with a powerful one. So Muhammad Gifari Editam and Sophia will be the age group. So we are 21 here. So I have divided you into each different groups, and we will dealing with different topics related to uh, four major chapters in our lectures of animal physiology. Then I will move to the next slide. I mean, I have to close this first. So we are now still 16. So hopefully that the other students will join. So next I will introduce you about the roles and also the scenario of our lectures. I'd like to wait, why I cannot share my slide. So content. I want to share the PowerPoint slide, but I'm not sure what well, okay, so it is. So I will show you. So whoa, why it cannot be displayed like this? So can you see my slide?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So it is mean that our internet support is working well now. So in this animal physiology sessions, the largest sessions of this year with you, we will talk about four different topics: immune systems, endocrine systems, nervous system, and reproduction systems. So we have actually four major topics to be discussed. And then In this class, I use my own book as the major reference. So I don't push you to purchase this book, but you can use this book because I use it and all materials for such animal physiology chapters are available in this book, and you can purchase it. And I bet that some of you also have purchased it before. And so in this book, all of the reference and also the examinations and also the evaluations and the talks for the groups like in ASOI topics and also so many things I put on this book, so we can use this book to as a guideline for our lectures. And also in our lectures, the topic, the subtopic, also I also refers to this book, physiology hewan with basic principles. And actually, by Frizal and Bu Ayu also use this book for the reference because I share this book with them, and then they agree to use this book for their major reference in animal physiology. And then, so in our lectures, we will deal about the many kind of mechanisms. We learn, we discuss about animal physiology, and therefore we will talk about process happening in our body undergoing in different systems. Like in here, for example, the very related with this pandemic situations, as you know that antibody including iron globulin M and G are among the antibody used for rapid test to detect the infection. So as you notice, for example, in COVID-19 uh, kind of detections using this rapid test, some company release the rapid test equipment like this rapid test strips that actually it is based on the dynamic of this antibody in our blood plasms, including immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G. And therefore we also need to understand about it, and the basic of this will be discussed in our class. And then in endocrine systems, we also will deal with how the hormones will work, will hit the cells, the targeting cells, like this figure, for example. The steroid hormones will interact with the receptors located in the nucleus, but the peptide hormones will deal with the receptors. So this is the receptors of the hormones located in the surface of the membrane. So it will have a different manifestations and also mechanisms in reveal. I mean, it's not in revealing, in exerting the physiological outcomes in our body. And then also in nervous systems, we will talk much more about the basic principles, how the nervous systems will could automatically generate the electricity, and how this electricity that build up based on the ion channels and the movement of the ions through the channels, and then how this electricity will be transmitted from one neurons to other neurons, and eventually will triggers some outcome like movement or others in our effectors. And then in reproductive systems, the latest chapters will talk about the physiology of reproductions. And of course, some parts have been discussed in embryology or developmental biology lectures last year or last semester. But here in our lectures, we also emphasize in discussing about the physiological aspect of how the reproductions will undergoing. So here, for example, as shown here after biolabs in my book, we will discuss about the sexual behaviors. This is kind of peculiar behaviors in reptiles, lizard. So these lizards and their populations are female, so there is no male. So how they reproduce and deal with the new offspring, as you see here that in physiological manner, in the physiological aspect, we will deal with the regulations of the hormones, the fluctuations of estradiol and progesterones during their reproductive cycles, including like here in ovulations, and also they're also related with their behavior. So in this whiptail lizard, they have peculiar behaviors, like a kind of having sex with the same sex, so female having sex with the female, the same females. So they having sex. This is a female, and this is also females. But these rituals, this behavior is needed to encourage this female to reproduce by parthenogenesis, producing the new eggs, and then will produce the new individuals. So we will talk later about this hormones, how these hormones will induce the rise of the new offsprings. So next, I will talk about the rules and the scenarios. So as I told before that we will work in a groups. So our class 21 students will be divided into each different groups, and then each group present the related to particular topic and subtopic designated for them. So in every chapters there are two groups will discuss about the such materials and the chapters, and then in every meeting sessions we will divide it into two different subsessions. So for example, next week we will talk about the immune systems, and then the first sessions will be the presentation of the first groups, and then we will continue with the question and answers and discussions about their presentations, and then we will move to the second sessions, and the second group will discuss, will be presented, and then also below it by the question and answers. And then beside the presentations in the class, we will also have an online quiz using the I learn every two chapters. So after we finish the immune system and the current systems, and then I will designate it an online quiz for you. So you will work with this online quiz to deal with the questions. So actually, all the questions for the online quiz are available in this book, and I just upload it into the iLearn, so you can use it. If you have this book, then you can start earlier than your friends. But if you're if you just want to test yourself, so just deal with the online quiz by the time. And then beside the online quiz for the individual stocks, in your groups, you also will uh, do the talks of groups, including the discussions of high order thinking questions. So in this book, there are, in every chapter there are single high order thinking questions. So for example, in immune system, only one high order thinking questions, and also the nervous system and reproduction systems. So all of you in a group will discuss about the questions provided in each chapters. And because this is high order thinking, this is kind of that the open question, that to answer such questions you need to discuss with your friends, you need to explore the reference, the related reference, and reading and discussing much than just directly answer. So it is so called high order thinking, and therefore you need to working in a group to answer this question. So it is very little number of the questions, only four questions available for four groups. For four chapters. And then the largest times we will deal with that is the writing. So I will give you a talk to write an essay related to the topic. So there will be four different topics that you can choose one of them. So then you will write an essay about it, and then you will submit it during the final exams. So it should be done before the semester ends, so I can compile your results. And then Also, during the final examinations, we will also have the two kind of the examinations: written examinations using iLearn, and as oral test. So, oral test probably will use we will use the any kind of available platform like Google Meet, for example, or Zoom, or even this Microsoft Teams. So we can use the online kind of the interviews direct examination for you, and we will discuss about the four topics, different topics that we have learned in this lectures. So, and then this is just how to encourage you. I just want to describe, just want to tell you about the main goal of these lectures, and also, of course, the major goals of other lectures, not only in animal physiology. So these lectures is, and the examinations and also the talks provided to you, it's not to test your memory of knowledge. So if you want to memorize everything, of course, you are kind of dictionary or encyclopedia. So you just memorize it without understanding it, or without apply it into your life, and without contemplate with it. So it is not the major goals of the lectures, but it is these lectures, it is expected to encourage you to be understanding on your own body, and therefore it will make you be wiser than before. So if you, for example, have learned about the blood physiology, for example, and we notice that the blood physiology, the blood synthesis, for example, the synthesis of red blood cells and also hemoglobin inside the blood, inside the erythrocytes, it is needed the designations of the energy to support the mitosis of the cells in our bone marrow, and therefore we will have the adequate amount of hemoglobins and also red blood cell, and therefore we will have the great metabolisms, and then we can be healthy. But that is just the common acknowledgement, the common knowledge that we can learn from the lectures. But how we apply this kind of understandings that our body need the energy to support the cells to divide it. So this just kind of examples, okay? So as we know that red blood cells and hemoglobin synthesis are happening during the night. So they will undergo during the night, starting like about 10 p.m. and the rest time until we wake up. So um, if, for example, you just stay awake during the night, or you just delay your sleeping times, it may affect the blood synthesis, and therefore it will affect the level of your hemoglobins and also the level of your erythrocytes, and therefore it also reduce your fitness and reduce your health. And that's kind of that understanding how you understand your body work in such a process. It will then encourage you to, for example, minimize the rate of uh, waking all the night, or you know, just sleep well earlier, and also taking a rest well. So your body will have the proper energy to support the mitosis of the in the bone marrow, and therefore you will have the fitness, the great fitness. So it's a kind of the major goals of the lectures, that by understanding the basic principles of the systems working in our body, then you can understand how you deal with your body to support its fitness, and then you will be the wiser ones. So it's kind of the intelligence. So intelligence, being intelligent is not being excellent in memorizing. I mean, so if you just memorize all the facts, kind of that systems and the facts available in this book, for example, no, you can't be intelligent. It's not a kind of equation for the intelligence, because just memorize of something is not kind of you could apply it for your life. So I hope that by understanding our lectures, the content of our lectures, you will be more intelligent afterwards. So I will show you, for example, and this is the research performing in Kyoto University. So the researchers dealing with the effect of calorie restrictions. So the major finding is, as the title here, the calorie restriction slows the aging process. So if you want to be younger forever, and uh, not suffering of the early aging, just one kind of the best way is calorie restrictions. What is calorie restrictions? Is that, for example, here, that if you consume the energy, the food with a high energy, it is kind of the fully fat. I mean, you can take all the energy sources, and also you can eat anytime you want. But it's different. For example, if you have the restrictions in your feeding time, for 3 times a day regularly, and then you also considers about the energy compositions of your foods, and you put some like, yeah, slow, I mean lower the energy contents of your foods, and reduce the consumption of sugar and also fatty diets, and it's kind of the calorie restrictions. So here in their study, the researchers in Kyoto University found, so these A and C are the same age monkey. So they have two monkeys here. It's not only two monkeys. Actually, they test many plenty amount of monkey, but here just the representative one. So then they fed with a different regimes. So this monkey in A groups was fed with fully fed, so they can eat every times, and also they eat a high calorie diet containing high sugar and also high fat contents. But different with these groups, this monkey was fed with restrictions of the calorie. So there are three different groups, like 10% restrictions, and the 15% restrictions, and also 16%, 60, percent calorie restrictions. And what they found here, that in monkey fed with high calorie diets, after uh, more than 3 months later, they you know the peak, the aging symptoms like this, they hair become folds, and then the body also become weak. And different with this one, with calorie restrictions groups, they still have a fully ground hairs, and then also they have a quite fit situations of their body conditions, and it is mean that it reflects that calorie restrictions could effectively slow the symptom of aging, and also support your fitness. And here also they also measure the lifespan. I mean, the time, the lifespan, how long they live with the situation. So here, as you can see here, that in the group that fully fed with a high calorie diet, they only live, the maximum age is about 35. So the number of the monkey date commonly starting from this one. So about 24 or 25 months, they are suffering of death. And it's quite different if they continue with the calorie restrictions, as you see here, that many numbers of individuals will be survived. uh, so, and then their death period is only starting after 14 months, so it's quite like 10 months longer than the fully fed groups. So it is mean that if you consume the calorie with a very with a kind of lower calorie, restricted calorie, and you also sustain the time of your meal time, it will also support your survival and also your fitness. So it's kind of that a kind of theories, or the fact that you found from the reference, and also from the research conducted by the researchers, and then what you can do with this fact. So it's not only memorize that calorie restrictions could slow the aging, But how to understanding this paradigm, this mechanism, that then you will understand yourself that if you uh, restrict your calorie intake, and also if you care much about the calorie that you eat and the time you eat, it will of course support you to sustain your health, and also probably will make you younger forever. I mean, you will slow your aging. So it's kind of that the philosophical benefits that you can learn from our lectures. And it's not only memorizing, but you also can understanding, and then you can decide what should you do next after understanding this, and what should you do with yourself. So animal physiology also reflects the human physiology, and therefore we can also directly apply it with our body. And the next also, like in this fact in immune systems, the first and second group also will discuss about it next week. So in this group, in this graph, revealing that there are primary response and secondary response of our immune systems after exposure with antigenic agent like or with the virus, and then how this dynamic of immunoglobulin G and immunoglobulin M could be used in designing of this kit for testing the COVID-19 disease. So how these basic principles in our body, like primary and secondary response, will be applied to design this kit for testing the infections, and also the progressions of the infections, and how also we understand it and could make us be better in dealing with other person. For example, if you have a friend and then this friend was tested with this rapid test, and then we found that our friend is positive for IgG only, not for the IgM. So what should we do with this friend? Whether our friend is dangerous or infective, or whether we just say that our friend is okay and not infected, and therefore we should understand. So it's kind of that by understanding this, not only memorizing, by understanding this crop, and then we can understand the basic principles of the designing of this kit for testing the COVID-19 disease, and therefore we also can justify what should we do, how to deal with the patients with the positive result of the rapid test. So there are many kind of result of the rapid test. For example, this is a negative ones, because this is only C is for the controls negatives, and this is immunoglobulin G, and this is immunoglobulin M. So how we deal with this person only positive for IgM, or how we deal with a person or that rapid test shown the positive or reactive with IgG, not for the IgM, or how we deal with the person the positive for both IgG and IgM. So these three kinds or four kinds of that result of rapid test should be treated with different paradigms, and by understanding the basic principles of this dynamics, and then we can also understand it, and then we can also be wise with our friends. And the lotus, it is also I also have discussed with you, I probably long time ago, that also in physiology we learn about endocrine system, we learn about the hormones, like this kind of the testosterone hormones and cortisol hormone. So both these hormones, cortisol is a stress-induced hormone, so hormone that could triggers the stress, and also when we undergo the stress, then this hormone also will continue to increase, to rapidly elevate in our body. But different with testosterone, the testosterone will increase our confidence, our fitness also, and our happiness. So it's a different kind of this is cortisol and this is testosterone in a precise manner. So this kind of effect in the animal physiology, if you just memorize that, okay, cortisol is a stress hormone, the testosterone is confidence hormones. So how we deal with this with the situation? So here is the research provided by Amy Cuddy from Harvard University. She is a professor in I mean, psychology, also dealing with physiology, and so it's kind of medical psychology. So Professor Amy performed the research that they use the volunteers, so there are several volunteers here, and the first stage, the volunteers will undergo a kind of this, they will face the stressful situations immediately after the sessions. And then during this waiting time, for example, if you next will have the interview for the scholarship or interview for the new job or even the final exams, of course you will face immediately with a stressful situations, and therefore you will feel so nervous about it. And so they are in this research, they are encouraged to uh, uh, perform high power pose. So this is high power body language. It's kind of this confidenceness, and then this also. And in other side, in other term time, they are supposed to deal with the lower power pose. So this kind of lower powers, like if feeling insecure, guilty, and nervous, and afraid, and also feeling in confidence. So just physically show it by yourself. So what the results here, as you see here, that the groups that did the high power pose, their testosterone level increased, and unfortunately, with the respondent with lower power pose, their testosterone depleted significantly. And in reverse with the cortisol, the stress hormones, in the groups with high power pose, dealing with high power pose, their cortisol, their stress hormone depleted significantly. And then differently with the lower power pose, their stress hormone increase. So it's kind of that the positive result. If you do the physical, just suggest, doing a kind of suggestion for yourself, you will be confident, you will be in a high power pose, and then you will have also your endocrine systems also will be also dealing with this, and your cortisol, your stress hormone will decrease, and the testosterone hormone will increase, and therefore the final results, you will be more confident, you will be successfully undergo through the stress situations, and then it is kind of the key how you deal with the situations in your life. So it is kind of how the physiological uh, knowledge will also encourage you to be wiser and also to be intelligent. So intelligent people will be more confident, will also, doing with the positive gestures in our body and physicals, and also will deal with the physiological situations, and therefore there will be a stay and fitness. So it's kind of the lesson that I will share to you, that by learning the animal physiology, understanding the immune systems, understanding the metabolisms, also the digestive systems, and also the nervous systems, reproductive system, and many kind of system in our body, it could encourage you to be more intelligent, because you understand your body, the systems undergoing in your body, and then you will have uh, uh, you will be able to determine what you should do correctly with your body, with your situations. And I hope that by learning these conditions, and then each time we understand the new fact, not only in an animal physiology but next in your life, every time you found the fact, you learn about something, then it will encourage you to be better, to be wiser, and it will reflect in the development of your personality, and be great and be intelligent person. So that's all I think. It's something that I want to share with you in this presentations, and then we will back here. Can you hear my voice here? So,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
I am scared that you have go away from here. So how do you put it in a second? Wait. So okay, so that's kind of the how we will perform our lectures and how we discuss and take the benefit, the advantage information by understanding the animal physiology, and then I will describe. I will explain one by one about our next talks working in a group. So this one previously I've shown here this groups, but I need you to focus on this one, this subtopic. So we'll zoom it. Wow, why can I zoom it? Okay, can you read it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So this is about the topic and subtopics. So you should stick with the subtopic. So you have to discuss about the subtopics in your presentations and try to understand about it and discuss about it, not to run with other subtopic. So the first group will deal with the immune system first one. I mean part one. So this in my book, the material for this part available in this page from 189 to 198 page. So first, you have to discuss about the type of immunity. So we know that our body is provided by God with three layers of the defense systems. First, second, and third layers of our defense systems. And then you also have to discuss about natural immunity and then inductions immunity like the active and passive immunity. And then you also have to discuss about the matter of antigen and antibody and the type of antibody, including immunoglobulin A, D, E, G, M, and also the different characters between the antigens and antibody. So in my book, there are at least 13 or 12 different characters, distinct ways between the antigen and antibody. So you can learn from there, and then after that you also have to discuss about the interactions between the antigen and antibody, how the antibody could neutralize or agglutinate or precipitate or destroy the antigen, and therefore it will protect the systems of our body from the infections or the destructions induced by the antigenic. And then the latest one should be discussed by the first group is the dynamic response of the immunoglobulin. As I shown before, the dynamic response of the IgM and IgG in first response, and also the secondary response after the exposure with the like kind of viral infections or other antigenic. And then you also have to discuss about the basic principles of rapid tests, probably with rapid tests using for detecting the SARS-CoV-2 infections in a kind one person's body, and you can discuss about it. So then the second group will discuss also, we continue in immune systems, but they will talk about different topics, subtopic, I mean. So first is about the roles of lymphocyte and lymph in as a part of the immune systems. So there will be lymphocyte T and B, and also the thymus, how the thymus function as the immunological support, and also Bursa fabricus in kind of the birds that also as a reservoir for the antibody, and then also the place for the antigenic trappers like the macrophages and also dendritic follicles and lymphocytes. And then this second group also will discuss about the synthesis of antibody, and then the response of our body upon the injections. And then also the largest part is the common reactions of I mean immunological reactions of our body against infections or others, so including the inflammations and also allergic reactions and also interferon proteins formations against the antigenic infections. So that's kind of the first and the second groups. And then the third group will discuss about endocrine system. And the first part will be available in my book from the page of 215 to 225. So in this third group should discuss about the first the characteristic of endocrines, how the particular characteristic of the hormones should be distinguished from the enzyme or other substance in our body. And so you should discuss about how the hormone could translocate from the glands into the target cells, and then how to identify whether such a gland or such an organ is the endocrine gland or not, how to distinguish between, for example, the glands that produce the salivary exocrine gland and also the gland that produces the insulin, pancreatic gland. So it's quite different. So how to identify it, and this information also available in my book. And then uh, uh, next, this group also should discuss about the biosynthesis and the precursors of different hormones. So actually, our hormone consists of two major precursors and types. The peptides consist of proteins, and the steroid consists of cholesterol as precursors. So two different types. And these two different types of hormones will be synthesized in a different way in our body, and also will work in the targeting cells with a different way also. And then you should also discuss about how the hormones work, how they will deliver from the cells to the targeting cells using the autocrine, paracrine, or even endocrine, and also how the hormone will deal with the receptors located in the nucleus or on the superficial on the surface of the targeting cells. And the largest one, this group also should discuss the manifestations of the hormones it release or exert the physiological outcomes. So there are four different manifestations at least, and you can read from this book. And then the next group, it's four group. I think yes, the fourth group will discuss about endocrine system part two. So first, you should discuss about how the hormone is regulated in our body using the feedback systems. So in the first chapters with I bet you have discussed about it, the regulations using the homeostasis with feedback. So there are three types of feedback: negative feedback, positive feedback, and feed forward. So you should discuss about it, but in hormone systems. And then you also should discuss about how the interaction between hormone and the nervous systems in vertebrates. And in my book, I have examples, some examples dealing with insulins, also with labella, and also with testosterone hormone that will work in our brain. And then the latest one that this group also should discuss about the endocrine system in vertebrate. In vertebrate, I mean, insulin, trota, platyhelminths, natura, annelids, mollusks, and crustacea, and also the very popular insect with the endocrine system is insects, because they exert many kind of hormones. Next, the next groups, the fourth and the sixth, I mean, fifth and sixth group will discuss about the nervous systems. So in the nervous system, the first group will discuss about the neurons, so the particular part composing of the nervous systems. So there will be neurons and the glial cells and the synapse. So in this group, just discuss about the structures of the synapse, not how the synapse work, because how the synapse work it will be discussed here with this one, the transmissions across the synapse. So you just focus on the structures of the synapse. So in my book you can also read about the structures of the synapse. The synapse consists of pre and post synapse, also the synaptic clefts. And then you also should discuss about the gradients, the ion gradient. So this is a very basic principles, but this is very fundamental concepts that you should understand well about it. That how the neurons could generate the electricity by itself. So how our neurons, we know that our brain works using the electricity, but how this electricity is generated in our neurons, and how this electricity, this generated electricity could be transmitted from one part to other part, and therefore transport information. So we will deal about it, because it will be related with the ion channels and also the movement of the ion through the channels. And then this group 5 will also discuss about the signal transmissions, but in this part they will discuss about the dynamic change of the electricity. So there will be the lower pace of the electricity and the very higher pace, and then it will move back to the level, the basal levels, and that's kind of the potential actions. And then the sixth group will discuss about the next process, that this electricity generated by the neurons, how it will be transmitted through the axons, along the axons of the neurons, and then how after it reach the tips of the axons, it will cross the bridge, cross the synapse between the neurons. And then the largest part will be about the nervous systems organizations in many kind of animals. So from the unicellular in parameciums, and also in ganglia in cockroach as the representative example of the insects, and also the nerve net in cnidaria, like in jellyfish, for examples, and also in cephaloceans, biologists in all the vertebrate from the fish to the mammals. So this kind of the talks of group 5 and group 6. And the latest groups, the groups 7 and 8, will discuss particularly about the reproductive system. So in my book, it will be available in page 297 to 304. So in this presentation, you should focus first in the function of reproductions, and also the particular reproduction in Dopnia, this kind of invertebrate that could reproduce both sexual and asexuals. And then this also kind of reproduction, sexual reproductions in that previously I shown you in a slide, like in whiptails, kind of pseudosex behaviors, that same female having sex in order to reproduce, in order to induce the females to parthenogenesis, and therefore it will release the eggs, and therefore the eggs will develop to be new individuals. And then you also should discuss about the sexual maturity, about how the maturity in the male and females, and also the dynamic of hormones during the menstrual cycles in primates. Next, the latest group, the age group, will discuss about the pregnancies, like how the physiological aspect of pregnancies, and also the dynamic hormone during pregnancy. And also, we know that during the pregnancy, that the mother will transfer the nutrients and substance needed by the fetuses, by the baby inside the womb. So how these molecules like sugar, proteins, and lipid, and also other ions could be transferred through the placenta, how this process. So in my book, you can read it directly in chapter, starting from chapter 34, 304. And then there will be parturitions. So it's kind of labor, how you being born by your mother. So we will deal with the hormones, the controls of the hormonal controls during parturitions, and also during the lactations. And then the latest one the larger part will you should discuss about the contraceptions, how to control the bird. So there are that's kind of the subtopic that you should discuss with your friends, and you can use my book to deal with it, and you will make prepare the presentation for each group. So as schedule here, for example, here, the first group will have presentations on November 6th, and then the next group will be November 13th, and different, and we will hopefully expected to end our lectures on 27th, November 27th. But it is just the schedule for the presentation, but the presentation itself should be finished during this week. So next week, on Friday next week, early Friday next week, you should submit all the presentations of each group. So from first group to the age group should submit their presentations files through the iLearn. So I can download it, and then we will start a presentation with the first groups. So even for example, the age group, the largest group will present their presentation during the last November. So it's quite long time after this, but you should prepare it only in 1 week periods, and then you submit it next week before our lectures begin. So that's all, I think, the information that I want to share to you about this, and hopefully that you will understand about the regulation and the scenario about lectures. So I will close this. Okay. So I think that's all the information that I can share you today about the scenario, about the major goals of the lectures, about the groups, and also how you will work with your presentations, how you perform the presentations in our class. So any questions or the kind of discussions from you, curiosity, inquiry, you can ask questions about the this.
Nggak, saya
Yeah,
gitu Pak.
yeah, please.
Mau tanya. Tasya Pak.
Yeah. Okay, please.
Tasya mau aja Pak, boleh nggak masuk ke tim dari ini gitu Pak, buat lihat recordingnya gitu Pak.
A recording of what? Oh, you want to join with this one, right?
Meetingnya aja Pak, belum join ke timnya Pak.
Oh, okay. So okay, of course, I can invite you in this I mean group. This is available for students. Then I will. But it takes a time for me to input one by one of the students in this group. So so some of you have been invited in this class in the Mesh Teams platform, but commonly not, because yeah, it takes time for me to input one by one. So okay, I'll invite you. So can I can share the video, the recording video for our lectures.
Makasih Pak.
Okay, you're welcome. Any questions? Other Fadila, Eka, Ifari, Nadira, Rosie. Rosie, where are you now? In your home? Your hometown, I mean? Or still in Padang? It's quite toxic in our university now, because some students also being infected with the virus, including also the students in my team. So now we actually 2 weeks ago we start our research with my team. There are uh, 8 students working with my research project, but unfortunately one of them was infected with the virus, with the COVID-19 virus, I mean SARS-CoV-2 virus, and then we need to test to perform the swab test for all the groups, because these students come every day to our lab and work together with us. But fortunately, after the PCR test, all of us tested negative Yeah, but you know, still it's quite scary. Hopefully, okay, Givari, you have a question for us or not? Any questions? Abian?
Mm, not yet, sir.
Okay, not yet. You can continue next. And Nadira, no, you don't have questions. Milania,
Uh, no, sir.
okay, thank you.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir,
please.
I have a
Okay, cannot
question.
hear.
Saran, sir.
Yeah, please.
Uh, itu, sir, yang dipanggil tadi kan ada yang namanya ditandain warna ungu.
Oh, yeah,
Itu,
yeah, yeah.
itu dia apa? Ada yang lapor ke Saran udah hadir, sir, tapi suaranya nggak terdengar.
Okay, okay. So I will check it later, but please confirm. So Rosie is okay. No, not so Rosie, right?
Yes, sir.
But the second group, Funny, Funny, Funny. Are you there,
Hadir,
Funny?
sir.
Okay, so okay, and then Nikita, Tasha, Sharon. Okay, Abhian is here now. Abhian, how are you?
Hadir,
You're
sir.
still sleeping.
No, sir.
Okay, Zumdia, not yet. Yeah.
Zoom dia hadir, sir, tapi dia nggak bisa terdengar mic-nya, sir.
Okay, okay. And then Arin and Kiki. Arin.
Kiki's here, sir.
Okay, Kiki. What about Arin? Arin, I miss you, Arin. Where are you? Okay, so Arin is not available. Nasya? Nasya? Nasya Hafifah Putri.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are here, Nasya? Okay.
I'm here, sir.
Okay, thank you. So only Arin's Parimat Matupang and so also only Arin, right? Okay, thank you. So I will also could download this list of attendance here. Actually, I can download later. It's later. Okay, thank you for the suggestions. We have to deal with it. So if you don't have any further questions, we can finish our lecture
I want
today. Okay, please, Fadila.
uh, boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia, sir?
Yeah, please. It's difficult for you to speak in English.
Apa, sir? Mau tanya tentang itu,
Mhm.
bagaimana perkembangan vaksin COVID itu, sir?
Uh-huh.
Soalnya terakhir dengar kan masih mau menuju fase 3, sir. Jadi apa dari pandangan sir sendiri bagaimana gitu?
Oh, yeah. We should be positive. I mean that it's kind of the hope for us that the vaccine will be available as soon as possible. But it is better not to expect it's too much about the vaccines, and better to also protect our body from the infections. So even the vaccines will be available soon. First, that we don't know that whether the vaccine is effective for us or not. As the current research in many kind of the world, like previously Moderna and also many kind of company test in the third phase, and then they stop it because some patient die, and also the major issue that some faction develop that induce the other disease like kind of inflammations in the bone marrow and very serious disease. So it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of the uncertainty where whether that the vaccine developed for our country itself or we imported from other country will be available soon, or whether we will be among the people that will be prioritized to take these vaccines. So I think, in my opinion, yes, of course, we should be put our hope that the vaccine will be available soon and that will be effective, and this pandemic will be eradicated soon. But of course, another side, during this waiting time, it is better also to be to be cautious, to be aware with our body that better not to be infected with the virus, and then when the time that the vaccines will be available, so we can get it. But in predictions that will be available for the next year, but it is not for all people, but only the prioritized for the private some kind of the populations, so including the medical doctors and nurse, they will be the first that will take this, will be given for this vaccines, not us, for example, you as the younger probably will be the latest chapter for taking this vaccines. But okay, let's hope. I think in some countries they tested it, and it showed the positive results. I mean, it's worked well, but as you know, in testing the vaccine, there are so many issues that should be considered. For example, whether it will trigger the side effect, like previously in UK and also in USA, they found that some vaccine they develop induce the inflammations in the bone marrow and also induce triggers the death of the patients. And lately, I read in New York Times that one volunteers in a vaccine test in Brazil. This is the vaccine test provided by the USA, but it tested in Brazil, and one patient would die after the third phase of test the vaccines, but the researchers still don't know or the cause of the death. So it probably it's not, hopefully it's not because of the vaccine, but probably because of other effects. So we should be aware and should put our highest hope that the vaccine will be available. But in other side, we also should be, be cautious about our body, support yourself and protect yourself and your family. Any other questions or comments, and also about our lectures next week? Okay. So if there is no other questions, then we could finish our lecture today, and then I will download the attendance list. No, I'm downloading it. Okay, thank you very much. Then I will share the slide with you. Then probably I will share it with Sharon or with Abyan, so you can share it with your class then. And for the video, you also will watch it later if I invite you with this group. So thank you very much for your attending in this class, and see you next week. And okay, in the Excel, this list of groups and also the topic and subtopic, also I will send it with you, with one of you, and then please share it so you can start to work with it. And if you want to purchase the books for the reference, you can also contact me or also my agents that sold it. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
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 Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, I will finish our class, but first of all, I will download this. Why I couldn't downloading? Okay, file is downloaded, but where?
Sir,
Yeah.
you said about download this video.
No, I download the list of attendance, but the video is still running, so we cannot download it later.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So
you,
you can leave.
sir.
Okay, bye bye. You can leave the class.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.